Hi, we're Queens and Curious Volumes. My name is James. Today's Friday, so I'm going to do the Friday reads, which is what I do on Fridays, when I tell you what I read this week and what I'm going to read next week, and I'm going to talk about the thing that crossed my radar. It was of interest in bookish land. So I have been joining everyone in Dune in June, reading Frank Herbert's science fiction classic Dune in the month of Dune. This week, we, including I, read the second part of Dune, which is called Muad'Dib, in which we find out who this Muad'Dib character that's been mentioned in all these epigraphs to all the, seems like every chapter up till now has started with some reference to a book, one book or another about Muad'Dib written by Princess Irulan. So in this section we do find out who Muad'Dib is. You, if you've been reading along, probably had some suspicions. They were probably borne out. I won't say too much more about it. I'm still really enjoying Dune. I finished reading the second part this morning. I'm probably gonna just keep going through and finish. There's like about 200 pages of the actual story left. I'll probably just finish that this weekend. I also early this week finished reading Zane Grey's Call of the Canyon. Kind of a partial recommend, I suppose. I posted a video of full kind of summary and review of it yesterday. So if you're interested, you can check that out tomorrow. It was a video I posted yesterday about Call of the Canyon for June on the Range. I made sadly no progress on Eleanor of Aquitaine this week, but I think that after I finished Dune, I will continue with Eleanor of Aquitaine. Now I'm going to talk about the audiobook that I've been reading because it was not exactly in the news, but I was going through my Instagram feed. I don't do a lot on Instagram. I post almost nothing. Occasionally, a picture of Louise. I follow some things, but I came across a short which was posted by Kathleen Hanna, and Kathleen Hanna is a musician who became famous in the early 1990s as the lead singer of a band called Bikini Kill, who were kind of the foremost example of a punk subgenre called Riot Girl, which was sort of explicitly feminist punk rock from started out mostly in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington State, and Bikini Kill and Kathleen Hanna, they were really, if there was like a central band, this was them. They were the Sex Pistols of Riot Girl, if you will. So as happens to punk rock musicians, when they get to be past 50, they if they survive, they publish a memoir. And Kathleen Hanna published a memoir called Rebel Girl, named for probably their Bikini Kill's most famous song, Rebel Girl. And it was released, I think, this past week. It's free on Spotify, so that's where I've been listening to it. I'm about a quarter of the way through. It's a really good, if you listen to celebrity punk rock memoirs, it's a really good one. It's a hard listen because a lot of shitty stuff happened to Kathleen Hanna when she was young. So if you are sensitive about violence towards women and sexual exploitation and people just generally being horrible when they don't need to be, maybe it's not the listen or the read for you. But if you're into, if you can tolerate that for a bit, it's very instructive. But so I was scrolling through Instagram, and a post from Kathleen Hanna came up, a short, one of these things where someone is talking to you in the other aspect ratio, vertical video, yeah. And she's talking about how her book's coming out, but Amazon is also listing these fake biographies of her that came out at the same time that were apparently generated by someone or multiple people using AI. And they were kind of ridiculous, like titles like Kathleen Hanna, punk rock queen in the spotlight, I think was one of them were called. There were two or three of them, and she said, don't buy these, buy my own book. But I'm going to buy these because I'm interested to see what they say. And she had fun with it. She had a sense of humor about it, and spun out this fantasy that maybe they have her giving birth to Lana Del Rey, and they have these adventures together. Um, so that was kind of funny. But by the time I saw this, I'm like, I wonder if these are still available. I went on and I looked, and they had been taken down off of Amazon. So you can't buy Punk Rock Queen in the Spotlight. You can buy Rebel Girl by Kathleen Hanna, but not Punk Rock Queen in the Spotlight by, I think, James Taylor is the author name. So I guess that Kathleen Hanna, being a living person who is actually publishing a memoir, had some kind of basis to make a claim against these books. And bully for her, I think it's deplorable that people try to make a quick buck by, ripping her off and ripping off people who would want to read about her by, slapping together some AI generated quickie biography. But I wonder, are we going to see more of this kind of thing? You want to get down, sweetie? Go ahead. Go ahead. Are you mad about fake rebel girls? Yeah. And you want? Okay. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you too. Yeah, good girl. Louise is getting a haircut tomorrow because she's getting a little bit fluffy. But I was wondering, are we going to see more of these? And like, what about people like, Winston Churchill, who are not going to, get in touch with Amazon and say that they're, making fake biographies of him. And it's probably easier even to do an AI generated biography of Winston Churchill because there's so much in the public domain about more, Queen Victoria, say, people who lived entirely outside of everything, there's tons of stuff written about them in the public domain. And are you going to have to wade through, like, the way that Amazon's become a terrible place to buy socks because everything you get a page of sponsored ads for socks that you don't want. I don't know. Does anyone care about what socks they buy? Yeah, but is this going to be a problem for people who don't have a claim to say, yeah, someone's ripping off my celebrity biography? Yeah, I mean, I would I would be, I'm someone who's plugged into bookish resources and book reviews, and I could write an email to my friend Factboy. I mean Steve Donoghue, and he loves to just be asked questions. It's one of his favorite things to just have people randomly ask him a question. Expect and he'll answer it with alacrity very quickly because he lives for that. And not everyone has Steve Donoghue's email address, so they can just get Factboy to give them a book recommendation. So, what do you think? I mean, because obviously we're going to see more of this, and most people, I mean, or if you're publishing a long-awaited book on a topic like someone a couple years ago, let's keep it in the realm of American alternative rock music, Corporate Rock Still Sucks, the biography of SST Records. That's not specifically, ripping off a person. It's like someone did a lot of work and it's kind of centered around certain people, but it's not, you can't say, I wrote a book about SST records. You can't publish an AI generated book about SST records, or can you? I mean, I don't know where I stand about whether you should be able to. I know definitely where I stand about whether it's right, and also they're not putting any work into it. I mean, eventually you'll probably be able to scrape lists of things that are scheduled to come out, and set up your workflows where it can generate a book based on the prospectus of what is going to be coming out, and you might be able to be incredibly hands off about it. You could kind of automate the publication of a bunch of garbage that's going to be terrible, and that's going to rip people off. It might make you some money. I don't know. Future is here, my friends. Um, is it is it too late to is it too soon to start talking about the Butlerian Jihad? I used to be before I read Dune. When I heard that, I always associated it like instantly. I thought this has something to do with Judith Butler, right? I, it probably which no, I guess it's not. Anyway, those are my thoughts about fake rebel girls, and my strong recommendation that you check out and listen to the real rebel girl, Kathleen Hanna's biography, oh, autobiography, memoir, what have you. All right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.